I got married when I was quite young. Yeah, I was barely 20 when I got married, and I was living in Delta. But he, on his end, was living in Port Harcourt and refused for us to come together as partners for his own personal reasons. On many occasions, I had even like gone ahead to like, I don't see any reasons why you keep me in Delta and you are in River State. I want us to be together. I want us to raise family together. I have my 3 children. I drove myself personally to the hospital. Like, who wants to go purchase meat and fish in the market? I drive myself on in my labors, and I was already in labor, driving myself to the hospital, putting to bed and bring my baby back home. Most of the things I did by myself. My children actually practically they are not even used to their father.
He lives in Nigeria.
Yeah.
That's strange. I mean, I'm sorry. I just find it strange.
It's strange, but that's it. If I want to tell you one of my stories, right? One of them is, okay, it happened that he lived, I was working in Shell. It's this kind of relationship where it was more like autocratic leadership, where he dictates, I follow. Being that I was young and girl, I didn't know what to do. I was lamenting inside. Why? Because I couldn't speak up. He believes that, oh, okay, he has this ancient mother pattern where the man can do whatever he wants and the woman is just there as a figure, like whatever he tells you, push you this way, you have to go, push you this way, you have to go. On one occasion, I was like, no, I have to, like, I want to travel and let me go surprise him. Birthday, it was Valentine's Day. And I'm like, okay, let me go travel to Port Harcourt to go see him. I traveled to Port Harcourt. Then Port Harcourt roads was very bad. You know, this Choba area. So I spent hours on the road to get to Port Harcourt. I got to Port Harcourt at 11 p.m. And guess what, DF? I was pregnant. Almost 8 months and a week pregnant. I got to Port Harcourt. What did I end up? I ended up surprising myself. I actually bought gifts, you know, like birthday gift. I bought T-shirts. I bought jean trousers, wristwatch. I ended up surprising myself because I got there to start watching blue film with my own eyes.
But I was gonna say,
that's what I say. DF, I actually watched blue film. Like when he got to the door, I knocked. I wasn't getting any response, and it wasn't expecting me because it was actually supposed to be a surprise. But at the end of the day, I was like, okay, but I hear noise in the apartment. So, and I went to the window, like, you know, like curtain. You know how Nigerian curtains are now? Like you could actually like view through a peep, you know, like get a peep on through the window, which I did. And I ended up watching live blue film.
Hey, Mojo, no say blue because of.
When I knock, I was like, what? Like, I was trying to like still hold myself down, and then I knocked on the door. And I quickly tied up something and came to open the door. And I walked in and I saw the lady on the bed. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then he said, it's not what I think. So while he was still trying to like calm me down, like, hey, calm down, it's not what you think. Let me explain. So I was like, okay. And then the lady put him out like, oh, madam, it's not what you think. You just have to calm down. At that point, because first I gave her the respect by not even not recognizing her presence there, because I believe it's the man's fault if he has a woman in the house. The woman didn't walk up there. He's the one that went after her. So I should talk to him, not her. But where she bought my market was where she put her mouth in the conversation I was having with my ex then. So immediately when she spoke, I was like, I just landed her as a hot slap. As I was already pissed, like, you bought my market. But doing that now gave room for him to like, what are you doing? You don't have to do that. And then he dragged me outside and was just trying to like Before I know it, he started giving me heavy slap. Like, why should I come? In the first place, why did I come unannounced? In the first place, this. In the first place, that. At that point, he was like, they pour me cold water. Like, I just looked, are you serious? Like,
And
you're
where
beating me
was this
because of...
guy working?
He was working in Shell.
Oh, oil company, you said. Oh, wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. They're enjoying you on TikTok. They are double-clicking the screen. Pop the money gun. We've got our first money gun up in the building. Big shout out to our very first money gun pop. Continue your story.
So, basically, I was like, I was really, I was speechless. So that moment, it was really, I can't explain how I felt. So I just bent down, picked up my bag, picked up, I had a flat slippers on because I was heavily pregnant. So I just picked up my stuff. I just started walking away. And as at this time we're talking about, it was almost like midnight. And guess what, DF? I didn't have nowhere to go. I didn't know nobody in Port Harcourt.
And he allowed you to go like that with his pregnancy?
He allowed me to go. He didn't even say, okay, let me even chase after her to bring back my pregnant wife. I'm like, I kept walking. And then, if you know Port Harcourt, Rumumasi, I'm not forgetting that because the thing is still in my head. That happened in Rumumasi. And there was this hotel around the Rumumasi then. What was it called? They sell bread. They said this one popular bread.
Do you mind if I quickly interject? Did you remarry afterwards?
I'm not.
How long ago has this been?
No, let
it's
us
more than 8 years.
The story, bro. Don't kill the story, bro.
Oh God! Yes, I didn't want to bring this online. Seriously. Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Do you know I ended up sleeping on the floor in Port Harcourt on the road?
No way.
Yeah. I actually slept by a chemist store that was already closed because it was dark. So there's a table. I don't know what the table was for. Maybe like all those people that shade, like that display stuff in front of their stores. So I bent the table. I fell the table like back in so that I can hide inside. That was where I stayed. I lay on the floor till morning.
Hey, Timomo.
It was in the morning. I had to gather the little change I had in my pocket. I had to gather change. They count money like market woman. I had to gather my change and then boarded the next Agofure. That time it was Agofure bus transportation that was popular. I had to board the next bus back to Belta. He didn't make any move to look for me. It was later. Sometimes African men, I'm sorry to say, sometimes it gets in, I don't know the kind of relationship they think marriage is. Like it's a boss and a housemaid relationship, which is not supposed to be so. You get married to someone, the person is supposed to be your partner. The person is supposed to be your bestie, your best friend. But in this kind of relationship where you are the top, you decide, you tell the woman you don't have no say, like even down to man and woman relationship in bed, you are the one to be in control. It doesn't happen that way. Most of our men, that is one of the reasons that affect the relationships in Nigeria. Yeah. Because they tell you, oh, I can't
get a divorce.
Sorry?
So you eventually went on and got a divorce. Oh, my man.
Yes, I did. Okay. So while that was going on, my church, they were telling me, oh,
pop those money guns. Yeah, you're saying your church did what?
My church. Then I will go cry to my pastor. He will tell me, oh, marriage and divorce is a sin. I don't have to divorce and da. And I'll be like, Pastor, I'm young. I got in the picture, the way I picture marriage, my dad and my mom are still together. The way I pictured the kind of marriage I want to have, the kind of union I want to be in, it's not what I'm experiencing. My mom, I see my dad, they wake up together, my mom cooking for my dad, everybody, children eating together. That is the kind of marriage I foresaw for myself, like that's what I want, but that wasn't what I got. So the whole thing kept eating me up that I'll go to church, they'll be preaching to me. Then my parents, on their own end, my dad is late now. Blessed memories. I lost my dad like 3 years. Thank you. I lost him like 3 years ago. Before my dad died, my dad would be like, what will the word say? What will the church say? Their own church, oh. This is a church that, okay, my mom was like women leader kind of thing. My dad, all of them being in church. And they were looking at what the church would say as to my own happiness. The guy comes before the divorce even happened, right? He comes on a Saturday sometimes and goes back Sunday afternoon. The Saturday he comes sometimes is like midnight. And that's the union I have all through. The days he will manage to come on Friday, he will travel with his friend to Asaba. They will go spend time in Asaba and then come back on Saturday evening, and on Sunday.
Tunde Smith, copy my money guns. I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm just appreciating Tunde.
He will check out to Port Harcourt. That's how it was till my dad was like, no, you don't have to divorce. If you divorce, I'll disown you. It got to a time that at the time where I like, okay, I gave up actually. VF. I actually gave up. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me just start living my life. Like, I'm under the umbrella like I'm married, but the true picture is I wasn't married because there wasn't any union going on. There was nothing.
So at that point, did you have relationships? Did you have relationships with other men?
Okay, as at the time, truthfully saying, I don't know if he will follow me, DF. Truthfully saying, at that time, I got to the peak of it. At the beginning part of it, I hated men actually because of what happened. I disliked men. Like I really disliked men. Like if they come talking to me, I see them as unserious people. Until I am not like, okay, I opened up to someone that actually the guy talked to me for some time, and at some point, to be frank, he gave me joy because he was always talking. We're always talking on the phone. Like I had somebody to chat with, like look like friend, real friend. Which that part I missed because he wasn't present. So,
So did you eventually do fakapiki with this other guy that kept you company?
Yes, now. Is it everything that you see on the phone? Is it everything you see online?
We want to know so that the story can be sweet.
Oh my God. Okay, to be frank, I won't even I don't think it's anyway. It's yes, I did. I had a relationship after wasn't up to 3 years. It was 2 years and some months. Because why? I just had my last baby before the incident, before the whole divorce thing, So at that point, I was at that phase where I was still like, men, they're serious people. They are this, they are that, they are cheats. A whole bunch was running through my mind until the guy was like talking to me. I was like, all men are not the same, blah, blah, blah. So he was always checking up on me. As a matter of fact, my kids actually now became even close to him. Hello, Daddy Prince.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
I'm here too.
Okay, so, yeah. So he actually got close to my kids, and that actually drew me close to him. So, yes, I had relationship with him at that point, because at that point I already told my parents I'm no longer doing this. But if you guys chose your what's it called? You chose your relationship in the church, your positions and the public image over my own happiness, then so be it. So after a while, I lost communication. I actually didn't even talk to him anymore because he stayed back in Port Harcourt for a long while. From nowhere again, he popped in. I was like, he wants to come back. everything sounded so strange.
That's your
So
husband.
my ex.
Yeah. That's your ex-husband, yeah.
Yeah. So everything sounded so strange. So I insisted that before anything goes on between the two of us,
Oh
before
my
we come back
goodness.
together, that he has to go for a test. Because can you hear me, DF?
I can hear you. I can
Yes, sure,
hear
we
you.
can. I
So
can
he
hear you
went
too.
for the test. Tell us what now happened. What was the test?
Oh, yes. Okay. So medically, he wasn't okay after the result because
He
then I
had
was already
HIV.
working with an Jesus Christ. Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze. Don't start this, please.
No.
But
I just want
I
to ask, and then we
insisted,
move on. That's all. I'm
Daddy Freeze.
asking
I
now.
can't say, I'm sorry, I can't say that part. But the thing is, I was already working with an international organization here in the US that we were into a whole lot of medical line, like treatment and care for patients and OIs. That's opportunistic infections and everything. So it was
For people that have infection. Oh, I
yeah.
get it.
So there were a whole lot. I was actually anchoring even Delta, Enugu. So there were a whole bunch I was into. So I had to insist. I insisted that before we can come back together, you must have to do this test. He refused and was like, he's not going to do nothing, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, if you don't want, then marriage ended. So he reluctantly went and refused to pay. I did it. I said, don't worry, I will pay. We went and we did test, did for everybody. Lo and behold, we were not on the same page anymore. So I told him, I said, I can't continue. I'm sorry. Because if it was something that, okay, he was there all along. To be frank with you, there are some circumstances that I could have even like, if the love was, if the bond was there, if he uphold the bond, there are certain situations where I could understand that, okay, after all, you were there when all along, but it wasn't so. There was already gap. There was a very, very huge gap there that I couldn't continue with. So I told him, I'm sorry, I have to leave. So, but then after like few months when my parents now knew, only them can't use their hand, can't return the bride price, say, sorry, my battery, let me plug my phone real quick. Only them now return the bride price, say, our pikin don't try. Say, we had to, hold the Christian family onto that, oh, they're not supposed to divorce and blah, 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 blah. But at this situation, I don't even think they ever returned the bride price anymore. So I just left them. I said, actually, nature and God to take, let me say, I let God to take control.